Hello and welcome. I am Lisa McCardle of Inner Wisdom Awakening, and it is my great pleasure to be here with you today. And happy Mother's Day. I just want to take a moment to wish all of the women out there a happy Mother's Day. And I also just really want to give voice to the fact that Mother's Day means a lot of things, a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I want to give a moment of honor to the mothers who are the women who might not have birthed children in this lifetime and desire to my sisters who have lost children or whose children have grown. And I just really want to give voice to, or perhaps mothers are on the other side of the veil. This energy of the mother is one of nurturing and one of love that is unconditional. And to the fathers out there that hold the space as mother, there's a lot to be acknowledged, and I think it's really important that we acknowledge all of it through the celebration and the gratitude and the all of the delight that's out there today. I just want to take a moment to speak love into the hearts of those who might not have had the most fun day, and knowing that we all have these different opportunities to walk through. So in my meditation today, Mother Mary came in, and I think we're going to explore some of the messages that she wanted to share when we go into the full transmission. Part of what I'm really excited to share here is that I am about to launch my first book. It's going to be live on May the 19th. And just a few short days from now. And it's called The Palace of Light, Finding Your Way Home. And it is a labor of love that had come through me over the last 2 years. And it is a tool book for Ascension. And it basically breaks down Ascension into 5 pillars of light. And some of those we will go through today in our transmission. But the first pillar of light is about presence and really bringing yourself into the space of absolute presence, and knowing that when we're too far in the future, we're often in a state or space of anxiety. And if we're too far into the past, we're culminating usually through a depressed state of things that we have no capacity to change. So presence is truly the gift of all things and the first pillar to our ascension and to our awakening. And the second is through presence, we then get to move into a greater connection, a greater communion. And that communion is with self, with higher self, with source itself. And then we move through a deconstruction phase. And as I was writing the parts of the pillar of deconstruction, I went through my own dark night of the soul and literally handed over every aspect and expression of my life that I had built for the last 15 to 20 years. So through that, there becomes this almost memoir style of what deconstruction at a dark night of the soul really looks like. So I know collectively we're all going through massive transformation, massive deconstruction, both on the inner plane and the outer plane. And the message of the book is that none of us are going through it alone. And through that, then we move into ascension, which is really the exalted state of lifting up into a higher frequency, into a higher capacity to see, right, to a heightened state, so we can really take in the truth beyond the illusions of what we're living here in this 3D world. And then we move into the rise up, which is where we all really get to become unified in the higher consciousness and birth this new earth, because that's what we're doing. And in some ways, I really just want to acknowledge that we're all the mothers, all the divine mothers, every human being on this planet right now, because we are birthing an earth. And so whether whatever frequency you hold, the masculine and the feminine lives within each of us. And we are here as humanity birthing a new earth. And that is the Palace of Light. So I would be honored if you go to my website, lisamccardle.com. There is a opt-in, a place where you can drop your email. And as soon as that book launches, I will deliver it to your inbox. So let's take all that information and let's take the bounty of this day, this Holy Sacred Mother's Day, where we get to honor the divine feminine. And let's move into a transmission. Make sure you have some water and find your comfort, whatever it is for you. Sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and let's begin. So, with all things, presence begins with your breath. So, finding in this now moment, in this space, finding a natural breath coming into your body with an exaggerated exhalation. So, with pursed lips, like you're blowing through a straw, having the awareness to greatly slow down the exhalation. Taking another regular breath in, maybe a little fuller this time. And then an exaggerated exhalation with slowing down. And the beauty of this breath is that it is a tool that you can access at any moment. And for the third time, taking in the breath, and this time really, really exaggerating the exhalation. The process of this style of breath shifts your nervous system into the rest and digest. It brings you into presence. So as you're following the breath and you're allowing your eyes to close, I'm going to invite you to pivot your energy into your back body. And it's less about leaning back in a chair, although that is available to you as well. It is a pivot of your energy to the back, like you're tilting a glass of water. Play with this for a moment, because as you tilt your energy forward, you're moving into a masculine frequency. You're going after. When you pull your energy back and allow it to collapse or to rest into the back body, the entirety of your front body begins to open, and this automatically assimilates you more into a feminine frequency. And in honor of this divine mother and motherhood this day, let's experience what it feels like to pivot energy back, to be in receptivity, to allow the state of the mind to relax and to move down into the state of your heart. Maybe even you feel called to bring a hand to the heart. Allowing your breath to come naturally now. Allowing your energy to continually flow into the back body. Allowing your awareness to move down from the matrix of the mind and move more fully into the heart space. Maybe even into the womb space, which is seated within the second chakra, which is in your belly. Maybe asking or inviting your breath to move in a harmonic balance between the heart and the womb. Noticing that silence naturally follows when what you are listening for is the beat of your own heart in union with the pulse of your own womb space. And you're going to deliver that energy down through the first chakra, down your legs, down the base and bottom of your feet. You're going to take a very deep dive down through the center, into the center of the earth, and you will find, just as you enter the center of the earth of Mama Gaia, that there is a beautiful ring of fire. And as you take the dive through that ring of fire, you are optimizing the opportunity to transmute that which does not serve you. And through that ring of fire, you will land into the womb of Gaia herself. And you will find it much like a cave or much like a body of water with just the perfect light and just the perfect temperature. Allowing yourself for this moment to float within her sacred waters, to have the sensation of completely surrendering over, to remember what it feels like to be held and nurtured, unconditionally loved at the deepest layer, deepest level. She is so honored to have you visit and initiate with her. She says, "You are my children. Thank you for being here." And handing over anything that is not serving you or anything that you are processing from the above earth field. Hand it over to her to be reconciled, to be released, to be renewed, and then in turn to be reborn. And this is a place that you can always come to visit. With your next breath, you are going to envision that you are pushing off the bottom of this beautiful well of water that you have been steeped within. And you're going to see yourself activating straight up through the earth, through that ring of fire, up through the earth, through the surface of the earth, up through the first chakra, up through the womb space, the second chakra, up through the solar plexus, activating the light of truth, of your true innate power. Breathing up, and we're going to find our space into the sacred heart, into the sacred flame. And perhaps as you find yourself in the heart space, finding your breath, finding the truest essence of your love this day, noticing that there is a rose that begins to bloom within this heart space. And this rose is the signature of the Divine Mother, Mother Mary. And perhaps you allow this rose to envelop you, to become a soft pillow of which you lie upon. Perhaps you allow it to purify the entirety of your being, however it chooses to present. But we will welcome her to come this day and to offer a transmission. She says, "Beloveds, it is no mistake that we are gathering on this day, when many in this hemisphere have summoned it to be the day to stand in the exaltation of that which is divine, that which is feminine, that which is the holy of all holy and the contribution of all contributions, that of the mother. And remember, beloveds, the mother is an archetype, the mother is an expression, the mother is a frequency that some actualize in human form. But the mother is the source of love that is unconditional. The mother is patient. The mother is steadfast. The mother does not shame, nor does she judge. The mother holds space for all of the expression of her children. And the message that wants to be gifted through your heart this day, beloveds, is that if you had not experienced that in your human form, do not fret. Your human form mothers and experiences through your ancestry, through your lineage, through your genealogy, was one of great karmic agreement. You must know at the core of all of this that the love that the mother holds for you is endless, and it is indeed unconditional, even if perhaps the deliverance of it and that which you received had conditions placed upon it. It is essential that you know that in the third dimensionality of which you are currently residing, you have agreed through your forgetting to allow your learning, your growth to be one of contrast. And so from this space and place of understanding, beloveds, we would say that each mother delivered the agreed upon frequency. And we would like to remind you that the love that you seek, and those of you who have attached love to a mother that was not able to show up in her full capacity, whether it be in the physical plane, in the emotional plane, in the energetic plane, or even in the spiritual planes, that love that you seek, beloveds, is here for you now. It is to unattach the hook that you have attached into the physical form of your genealogical mother, and to reattach it into the form that is formless, that is of the divinity of Mother herself. I offer my love to you this day as the holder of the place of the one that is called Mary, Divine Mother. And I hold great company with many of the Divine Mothers who are here this day in transmission. And our wish to bestow through you this day, beloveds, is that you seek for, therefore you find, and therefore you be in the great remembrance of how precious and valuable you are as the expression of purity, of love, and of light that is alive within the cells of your being in this moment, dearest ones. That you're attaching to anything outside of it is a mere illusion, to be shattered as you deconstruct the illusions of all of this third dimensionality, and as you, the conduit of light, bestow the greatness of remembrance through the cells of your body. And through this, all shall rise up remembered in the Christed consciousness and the light of the truth of love that is indeed unconditional. Breathe, beloveds, breathe. Receive this transmission. For it is in the moment of which you find the whole of your being, albeit at times fragmented, fractals. But too, that is an illusion, because in the true essence of you, you are one. You are one in all of your expressions, and one in all with all that is and all that has ever been. And so we bring you this moment in time, beloved, back to the core, to the essence, to the familiarity, to the great remembrance of who you are as the beloved expression of the Divine Mother in the form of which you have chosen. That there is nothing that exists outside of you that is not already alive within the fullest expression of you as you are in this moment. And as you breathe in this truth of remembrance, and as you breathe in, may you become whole, holy, and true in this transmission. We ask you in this moment to lay down your swords of suffering, for they are no longer necessary, nor will they carry you forth to the promised land. The swords of suffering where you perceive that you have lost, or that you are estranged from, or that you did not have an experience that you had wished for in this lifetime. Make no mistakes, beloveds, you have had all the experiences in all the lifetimes. You are missing nothing, for you have experienced everything. And when you reattach to the truth of this, you shall find the freedom that you most desire. Because the freedom that you most desire is not held within any institution that is outside of yourself. It is held alive within the frequency of this moment, and within the frequency that is being offered to you as a remembrance. It is to be said this day that the love for you is so immense that within the purity of the love that is for you, there are no shadows. And even the shadows that you are seeking and searching through are expressions of illusions, of fragments of separation that are not even real within the true essence of you and your purest form. We come together this day, beloveds, in our full transmission, to offer from our hearts, from our space, from our grace to yours, a purity of love that is indeed unconditional. And we give grace this day for all who have chosen to hold the frequency as you experience it on earth plane of Mother. May you know that your pathway is one of surrender. It is one of giving freely forth, for you have given life forth freely through you. We are in honor in all of each of you this day, in all the ways of which you express. This is a time like no other here upon your planet, and every one of you holds a significant, we would call it thread, of golden light. And the core source of that thread of golden light lives within the expression of your heart. And as you cast that expression of pure love out through, please do know that it weaves a tapestry that is more brilliant than anything that anyone, any being of light beyond any dimension has ever seen before. This is a time like none. And the threads, the golden threads of your love that is unconditional, is creating a world within a world within a world. And we thank you for your service. So taking a nice deep breath. I want you to find yourself waking up in that beautiful rose that has been placed within your heart, the one that took you into this transmission. I want you to have the experience of seeing what color that rose is that's alive within your heart, of smelling it, of tasting it if that's what you desire, feeling the petals, having a somatic sensory experience with the rose of your own heart. And if you take a dive into the center of that heart, like you're diving into the womb of Mama Gaia as we began this transmission, imagine that you are literally diving in like you're diving into a pool. And in the center of that, you are going to be met with fire. And the fire is to initiate the sacred heart that is alive within you. And the sacred heart is part of the transmission of the ignition of the consciousness of the Christed one that is alive within your heart. And in the codes of which have been spoken this day, it is also to remember that there is a second coming that is before you, and that you are bringing that into actualized form through this flame of your heart. Yes, your heart is the catalyst for the second coming of this Christed consciousness that will rise exalted in its feminine and its masculine form. And as you dive deeply into this flame, it is for the intention of burning away that which is complete. The heart holds the embers of the pain that you have experienced in this lifetime, of the love that you perceive you have lost, albeit an illusion, of the heartbreak that you perceive you have experienced through the lens of separation that you have been so programmed to live within. Allow that sacred flame to be a catalyst of transformation for you on this very sacred day. Allow that flame to burn away in transmutation any illusions that you are holding as truth within the well of your most unconditional sacred love. Allowing these flames to destroy the illusions of old and to create the ash for the phoenix to rise new within you. And the Divine Mother, she holds many forms, and in the form of the destroyer, of death, of darkness, she comes sometimes to transmute so that new life might be more easily found, more easily expressed. So allow this fire to be your transmutation. And as you begin to see the fires burning into a beautiful, light, controllable candle flame, it will live eternally within you. The flame of your heart shall eternally live within you. And the times when it is needed to be turned up to transmute, you shall simply turn up the volume. And the times when it is needed for you to be guided when you perceive your path is dark, it shall serve to cast the light. and the times when your flames of desire are amplified for creation, for love, for passion, for purpose. They will amplify in service through you. And as the flame begins to be held, almost as if you're holding a flame within the heart of the hand of your heart. I literally want you to see that you are holding a piece of this flame within your hand. And if you turn through your heart space, I want you to see that there is a door. And I want you to see, too, that the key to that door magically appears through the flame that you're holding within your hand. And so as you take this key and begin to unlatch the door of the back of your heart, I welcome you to move into what is perceived to be the shadows, the space where you have locked the most precious of yourself away. And knowing that this flame is here to light perhaps the dark room that sits locked in wait for your arrival in this moment, on this day. And perhaps you see hiding or lingering in the back pieces of this heart palace. Perhaps there is an old wound or an old pain that was sitting in hiding, in wait for you to bring this sacred flame to it this day. And if something is there presenting itself, it might show itself as a symbol, as a sign, as a memory, as a name, as a word. Then use the wisdom of your heart to transmute that in any way you know to transmute it. By shining love, by shining light, or by casting the flame to it to transmute it through fire. You hold all the wisdom within you, and you know what it is you are to do. And as you find the last hiding pieces that have kept your heart perhaps protected, perhaps sheltered, or perhaps shadowed, knowing indeed that there is no place to hide, nor is there any necessity to hide any longer. That you cannot dim one part of your eternal love and still shine the rest forth. That for you to be in the full transmission of your love that has been bestowed through the Divine Mother, you must access all of it. So as you bring the shadows to the light, take one more swoop around this back secret chamber of your heart and see if there is anything else that is hiding there, that is waiting for you, that is wanting you to identify it, to see it, to make peace with it. All anyone or anything ever needs to create change is to be witnessed. So in this moment, witness what is true within your heart space. Is there anything there that needs to be or that wants to be acknowledged? Is there anything that is fun or frolicky within that heart space that had been pushed away because maybe someone else wasn't comfortable with the expression of you as such? This is your treasure chest, and it sits right within the treasure of your heart. And once you feel as if you have made the complete swoop, then at the very back of your heart, I want you to see that there is a heavy curtain that has been sitting back there waiting for you. And as you approach this heavy curtain, I want you to see in your other hand that the rose of which you had been resting upon now presents itself within your other hand. So you have a sacred flame and you have a rose within each hand. And as you approach this curtain, you use the rose to part it open. And what you find is a beautiful stairwell, a staircase. And it will present itself in whatever way is meant for you to experience this. It might present as a spiral staircase. It may be made of pure light, of gold. Whatever is unique to you, whatever is true for you, this is your pathway of ascension. And as you step through the curtains and place your right foot upon the first step, I want you to take a deep breath in, allowing the fullness of the flame behind you and all that has been reconciled through your heart space to act as a fuel, to act as hands, to act as the hands of your beloved angels, ancestors, guides, spirit, to usher you up these stairs as if you begin to float each step, rising up, seeing the staircase. And it begins to take you through the inner workings of your own body, walking up through the throat, expressing yourself in all the ways that are innate and true now that the resolve of the heart has been made clear. Walking up, cascading around through the third eye, parting the veils of the third eye for great sight, for great clarity, polishing the pineal gland along the way with the sacred flame and the rose of the Divine Mother. And finding this staircase, walking you all the way up through the crown, through your crown of glory, bestowing yourself as the exalted one. You are the gods and the goddesses of life itself. And seeing that the spiral or the ascension of this staircase begins to move up beyond the head. It begins to move up into the 8th chakral system, to your star system. It begins to carry you up into a bounty of light that could perhaps even feel as if it is blinding. We are walking you, beloveds, into the palace of light, which is the space of which you find your highest self in its highest communion. Outside and inside, outside and inside, outside and inside, outside physical form, yet inside your truest expression of soul self. Breathing it in, seeing these grand doors opening and exploring what your palace of light looks like and feels like from the inside out. Knowing that there is no time within this sacred holy chamber, that the illusion of time and the illusion of separation begins to free itself from the grips of your lower consciousness, and that you find yourself in the full expansion of your greatest light. And from that place, you may look around and see who of your soul family is here with you. Who is here waiting for you in this beautiful palace of light, where you are free from the illusions, separate from nothing, resurrected into your remembrance, in holy communion, in community, you and I tied in commonality. Finding this space as a space of great remembrance, and knowing that this palace of light is here with you in every moment, in every breath, and it is simply awaiting you to bring the realized expression of it into every breath that you have within this physical form, to bring the awareness of that exalted remembrance into your daily practice of life, that we all walk each other home to this sacred and holy place. And that is where I will leave you this day.